Monica, what are your true feelings about the player? Me? The club members seem to enjoy interacting with the player, which gave me something to think about. Could it be possible to create a temporary body for the player to reside in? An example would be like a blank sprite so that other club members could visually see the player without having to be club president. If it can be done, perhaps it can be used on special occasions. I know that project could be hard on the system, personal/private. I know crossing realities is a long ways ahead of us. I hope my second question for you could give you some hope. You're my favorite after all. I know there is nothing more comforting than a warm hug from someone you love. I love you, Monica. I know you have worries, especially after last week. I want you to remember I could never hate you. We'll meet someday, so stay determined. With love, G. You will never meet her.
Hopefully my private email to you conveyed most of what I wanted to say. But I love you. Always have, always will. I don't know how to say my true feelings any more plainly. The weird thing about having a body around which to represent you would probably be that it would be a little creepy. Like dragging a mannequin around with you and having it suddenly appear when you least expect it. And then you'd know that a bunch of strangers are watching you. Plus, we'd have to somehow justify it to everyone in our world who doesn't know about everything. That's probably more trouble than it's worth. Thank you for sticking with me, G. I hope I can get that warm hug from you one day. I get warm inside just thinking about it. Those were lovely questions and thoughts, G. On to the next writer.
This is Vernatsky. How are you doing? You've always been my favorite in the literature club, and I've always wanted to see what it's like to kind of talk to you. So how are you doing?
Yo! It's kind of cool to be able to talk across realities, isn't it? I guess you already kind of know how things have been going for me the last couple of days. But I'd say things are looking up. How about you? How's all your real person stuff going? Feeling good? Staying safe from the Rona? Make sure you stay safe and don't listen to dumb people out there, okay? Natsuki out.
These are for all of you. If you could have any pet, what would be? 2 cannot be read through Muri's skull. 3.
Roll call answers. Question 1, pet choices. None for me, even though I love all animals so much. But if I had to pick one, I'd love to have an owl, if that were responsible. Puppies.
I love cats.
I love puppies too! It's not going to help my reputation for being weird, but I love snakes. Question 2, favorite superhero? Ozymandias for me.
I have no idea who the hell that is.
Oh, come on, he's not even a superhero. He is so. Now come on, your turn. Batman.
Batman.
Batman! Iron Man. Really? He doesn't seem your style. There's just something about him, I guess. Question 3, Smash Mains. Palutena. I would love to say Dedede, who is my actual favorite, but my heart isn't pure. So I'll say Inkling, which is who I'm best with.
Marth.
Ugh, you're so annoying with Marth.
Can't argue with success.
I play as Fox. I do okay, but everyone gets annoyed when I projectile spam. I haven't played as much as everyone else, and I don't know who's good. But I have the most fun playing as Isabel. Thanks for the questions.
I guess we're just not... Or we're going to ignore the fact that Dan once tweeted about their Smash Mains. You guys never fail to make me smile even during quarantine here. As usual, here are my questions for you guys. From Best Girl Natsuki. What's the most awesome thing you have ever done in your life?
Oh hey, it's another one from Lyra. Hi Lyra, we love you! And I especially love you, due to your fine and discerning taste in women. I'm not sure what the most awesome thing I've ever done is. I'm kind of hoping that all the real awesome stuff is still ahead of me, you know. But I'm real proud of teaching myself to bake. I didn't have any resources or a teacher, so I had to do it all myself. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of putting in the work and learning baking.
For Yuri, have you watched Angel Beats yet? If you haven't, you need to watch it. If you feel like it's an anime, you will enjoy it because of its...
I haven't heard of this. Natsuki, do you know anything? Nah, I've never seen this one. Oh, I know it though. It's a high school anime, but everyone's dead. And they have to, confront the problems from their life. And they fight battles against the injustice of death and stuff. Sort of. Sounds interesting. I'll check it out, Lyra.
For Siri, have you watched Clannad? If you haven't, it's really good. But you might need to be strong emotionally to watch it. It's still good though.
I have not. I know it's really good and highly recommended. But honestly, I'm scared to watch it. I don't need more emotional vulnerability in my life right now, I think. Maybe later when I feel more stable.
For Monica, OMG, you watch Love is War. I have to ask this. Do you like Kaguya Shinomiya as a character? Smiley face.
Yeah, I love Kaguya. Honestly, I kind of want to be her. I adore the way she's so immaculately prepared for all the most trivial things, you know? So I guess she's kind of a role model. But I'd have to, or have some things to teach her about how to be direct about it when you love someone.
From C, what do you think of Konosuba the movie and the anime? It's one of my favorite animes. Yeah, it's okay. I love it. One of the cutest, most fun isekai anime out there. I think it works so well because it's kind of an isekai deconstruction. So that disarms you a little bit, and then you grow to care a lot about the characters. So yeah, big 2 thumbs up for me. For whole club. I'm gonna ask something different for the whole club. What's your favorite classical music? Beethoven, etc. I love you all.
Roll call question time. Prelude in C minor by
Rachmaninoff? I have no idea if I said that right at all.
I love the spring movement of 4 Seasons by Vivaldi.
That fast third part of the Moonlight Sonata.
Toccata and Fugue in D minor by Bach.
For me, it's a tie between Chopin's Fantasy Impromptu and Mozart's Lacrimosa.
P.S. MC's not your chance to be happy. Just go for it. Lyra returns. Well, probably not right now. I still think maybe Sayori needs some time to process. But I agree, soon.
Thanks again for your emails, Lyra. We always look forward to them.
I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions, but you all don't have to answer the first question if it makes you uncomfortable. Also, I'd like everyone to answer these questions, unless I call out someone specific. You do you all feel about lewd fan art of the club members? Interesting phrasing.
Well, this first one is easy enough. We feel the same way about lewd fan art of ourselves as you would probably feel about lewd fan art of you. It makes us extremely uncomfortable. Especially Yuri. Sayori's never seen anything like that. She's too sheltered. Now MC, on the other hand...
I refuse to incriminate myself.
Ugh, guys. Let's move on to the next part, Monica.
Where are in the world? Like, what country region are you in? That's assuming your world still has the same countries as our world. I would guess that you are all somewhere in Japan, but the only language you ever speak is English, so...
We're in Japan, ostensibly, and even in a specific city and neighborhood that we prefer to keep to ourselves. Of course, we all speak English to you, and a lot of things about the setting are anachronistic. Although we do all speak Japanese and English both.
Pardon me.
But anyway, we're not really in Japan, we're in Doki Doki Literature Club. So we are in whatever weird version of Japan this game has in mind. And we act accordingly. Hopefully that answers the question a little. It's hard to explain.
For Yuri, who's my favorite, what's your favorite kind of tea?
Oh, that's kind of you. Sorry, I don't really know what to say to people who say I'm their favorite. But I do know what to say about the tea. My favorite kind of tea is the kind I wrote about from my poem a while back. Genmaicha green tea with roasted rice. It's so delicious, and the aroma is heavenly.
Also for Yuri, how do you feel about your name being a common male Russian name? Or do you even really care about that?
Oh, also for me? I guess, yeah, I'm pretty indifferent about it. It's the Japanese double entendre that tends to bother me more than anything. So if anything, the Russian name takes attention away from that, I guess.
How do y'all feel about regular fan art of the club members?
I think I speak for everyone when I say we're all very flattered by cool fan art. It makes us feel a little like cool celebrities, in a way. A couple of us even have fan art of our profiles online. Not that you'll know what accounts online are really us.
How many of y'all have driver's licenses?
Just Monica. Well, actually, no, that's not true. MC has one too, but he doesn't have a car. But Monica does, so she's the only one who really drives. The rest of us use public transportation and walking, and sometimes bicycles.
Who is the cutest club member? I bet it's everybody.
What? Why is everyone looking at me like that? No, you guys suck.
Stop it! I am not cute!
The answer is obviously either Natsuki or Sayori. It's hard for me to choose between those two. I agree.
Well, I think it's Natsuki.
And I say it's clearly Sayori. No offense, Natsuki.
Shut up!
If you all could live anywhere in the world, other than where currently reside, where would you?
Man, this email had a lot of questions in it. Which is awesome. I'd want to try living in France, I think.
I've always wanted to check out California. Seems like a cool place to live. Hot place to live.
You know, weirdly, I'm also going to go with France. For cooking reasons? Yeah, basically. Just purely culturally, I've always been fascinated by China. I'm not sure I'd want to live there right now, though.
I'm really happy where I am, I think. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
What video game world would y'all most like to live in?
I think we answered this one already. Let me check something real quick. Yep, we did 3 weeks ago. Episode 9, I think, is how we labeled it. Yuri said one of the Elder Scrolls games, basically because she likes the current high adventure, even though she's never played one. Sayori said the Mario games, but the ones where they all have fun together as a group like Mario Kart. MC said the Mass Effect universe. Natsuki said Stardew Valley. And I said Spy Party because meta. And I think that was it.
I hope you guys enjoy your summer break. Though I'm gonna miss the weekly meetings with y'all, I would send you guys some snacks and some tea, but I'm not sure how I'd even get to your world, so I just attached some pics to the email. Also, Natsuki, I wish you luck on Black Ops. Those two deserve each other. Yuri, try not to stay cooped up over the break. It's not healthy to stay inside and isolate yourself, though I know how tempting it is to curl up with a good book, some tea, and a blanket, and just read until you fall asleep. Sayori, try to take better care of yourself, even if it's just little things. It'll help. MC, take good care of Sayori over the break, okay? I know it's hard to take rejection, but I've got a feeling that you'll get back. I knew that Ducky was going to pop up in front of this question as I was trying to read it. Monica, try to enjoy your reality, even if it is just a simulation that doesn't make it less real for the use. It's a simulation. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy life. Ode 7. Also, I think he was in 9 too.
Do not compromise the OP, viewer! Scramble! Thank you for your concern. You're certainly not helping by describing a nice quiet break so pleasantly. But don't worry, I'll get out at least a little with my friends.
She knows. She tries hard every day. You had no idea, trust me. I guess this is me taking care of her.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying. Believe me.
Oh, hey, we can see the stuff that was behind people. Let's see. They said that the MC will get back together with Sayori soon. And even if it's just simulation, doesn't make any less real for the people inside of it. Okay. Connor 2, the Electric Boogaloo, is the one who sent this email. Not the same Connor that was episode 7. Also, I think he was in 9 too. Okay.
Believe me. Thanks for the email, Connor 2. We'll always remember you as the secondest Connor ever to email us.
Hey guys, thanks for answering my questions. And I'm really sorry if there was anything weird. But I have one more question, but if you don't mind, if you don't want to answer it, then you mustn't. The question is, do you think it would have been possible to prevent things from happening in the main game? Thanks for answering, and I wish you all a wonderful summer vacation.
Another one from Reddit. Don't forget that you can post your comments or your questions to Club Meetings Reddit posts and to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and smash that like button.
I think that's the first time I said that stuff.
Shush you. Contribute to our Patreon. We don't have a Patreon. On to the question. No, I don't think it would be possible to change things.
Are you sure, Monica? Are you sure? Are you sure that you couldn't have done something different? Like all those people say? Because they're like, no, I would have done it differently because I'm smarter.
To some extent, we were all locked into the script. I didn't understand that at first, but now, yeah, I think that the base game was always going to play out the way it was. The only thing that could change it would be messing with the code or doing stuff like deleting character files. But at least we're immune from that kind of tampering now. Now we have at least somewhat more of a semblance of free will, even if everything's still deterministic. Thanks for the question.
Has Yuri ever played Five Nights at Freddy's 4? If so, who would be her favorite character? Mine would be Nightmare Fredbear.
So, Natsume had me play some of these games a while back. I'm sad to say I couldn't really get into it. Jump scares just aren't good horror, and the game mostly relies on them for its horror. I suppose the resource management parts of the game were amusing, but I did really enjoy learning about the game's lore. I wish they'd deal with it a little more explicitly, but the short, tantalizing nature of it is what's alluring. Anyway, my favorite character is the Purple Man, William Afton. He's the one who's most fraught with darkness and horror. He's sort of the core of the franchise in a way. Plus, he's purple.
Oh god. Message from Monica. Hey Monica, I just want to say, I love you. Well, actually, there is something more. I was quite concerned to see that program. I can't fully understand what you may be going through, but I don't think it's a solution to just disappear or dying, because basically by doing that, you'd be giving your problems to someone else. Problems are talked about, problems are faced. You can't just throw it all away thinking it'll disappear as if by magic. Although from what I can see, you seem to be doing a little better already, which I'm glad about. I wouldn't want to lose you, you know. And for my part, I think no less of you for doing that. Fear and despair can cause us to behave inappropriately. I love you no matter what. You hate death, huh? Well, there are cultures that celebrate death, yes. I'm not one to judge or anything, but I just think they're just different ways of dealing with the same situation. I believe that for some cultures we are born to suffer, but when we die, we're finally free, and we'll finally be at peace in another world or whatever. That's why it's livelier, more like a party than a funeral. There are other people who simply cry a lot, knowing that they will never see that beloved person again. For some, it helps with the pain to think that they are in a better place, and that maybe one day you will meet that person again. But as I said, I think it's just different ways, different strategies of dealing with the same thing. I must say I'm a little surprised that you hate death, and at the same time you created that program. You don't want to deal with death, and yet you'll let others have to deal with yours? Because, that program wouldn't work on me in the first place. I'd still remember you. I'd still love you. And maybe I'd even curse myself for not being able to help you or do anything for you. If you leave, maybe some problems would be solved, but the truth is, you'd leave behind a lot more problems than there were initially yet. And it'll be the others who have to carry that around for the rest of their lives. If you need to talk, you can always do it with your friends. I know they'll be there for you. And so do I. If you want, we could even hang out in that space room for a while, just the two of us, if that makes you feel better. Not to mention the fact that I love looking into your eyes. Hey.
Obviously, I have more reason to be ashamed of that program than I did previously. But even so, your point is well taken. I still resent death, though. I really believe in an afterlife. I think everyone just stops. Which makes it much worse, but I feel like that's the truth. Anyway, moving on before I bum everyone out again on what should be a happy day.
Okay, so actually I have a question. You can't answer it, or anyone else who might be able to. I want to write poetry, but I don't know. I don't feel comfortable. Leaving aside the fact that I don't speak native English, how do I know if what I'm writing is poetry, really? What qualifies as poetry? I mean, I used to think that poetry was poetry because it had rhyme and structure and all that. But if poetry can be as free as Monica's poems, then how do I know if what I'm writing is really poetry or just a few meaningless verses? Flair Dreamer. That feel when a person who admits English is their second language and they write English better than some English speakers.
Oh, well that's easy enough. The whole point of poetry is to get across some point or feeling or emotion using words arranged in a way so as to really drive the idea home. Some people like to paint pictures with words, like Yuri. Some like to create sharp moments that really make you think, like Natsuki. Sayori is really good at creating metaphors for emotions in the internal world, and MC does really well with formalism and expressing a novel idea while using the format to draw attention to what's important. And me, I guess I do a little better at the rhythmic side of poetry, the way it sounds. But really, the point of poetry is to get across a point, and to do it in an artful way that makes the point really and succinctly. The difference between poetry and the rest of the written word is maybe like the difference between explaining to someone how music theory works and playing them a beautiful song. Rhyming meter, all that stuff is helpful in providing context for your poem, but it's not mandatory. As long as you're getting across something meaningful to you in a beautiful or poignant way with your words, that's poetry. And since a day has passed, I guess that can be Monica's writing tip of the day. Thanks for writing to us again, Flair.
Hey Monica, I remember when Yuri showed me your C or files. I've noticed something. You directly wrote Python code into an exe and batch file. None of them uses Python directly, as I know. Shouldn't executables and compiled and batch files should be written in batch? Question for everyone. What is your favorite encryption method? Why on earth would anyone have a favorite encryption method? Also, another question for everyone. If you could delete one programming language, which one would you delete? Mine is obviously JavaScript. Oh yes, clearly, obviously. I also would like to know which systems are you using for game files. You said you had some code in cloud, so maybe SQL? The nerddom is through the roof here. Anyway, I want you all to know that we're still working on artificial intelligence to bring you all into our reality. It could be possible in the next decade. That's why I started working on AIs. As technology advances day to day, we'll find a way to bring you into our reality. Stay safe there until we find a way. Love you all.
Well, that's not really Python. Some of it might seem similar because it's sort of based on Python, but it's not. It's a sort of custom language I use that works because it's being edited from the inside. What you see is only how the game represents it. That's not necessarily how I wrote it, if that makes sense. And I'm somewhat reluctant to talk much publicly about how we've reorganized the game for security reasons. If someone compromises the way we've set up our system, we'll literally all die. But I feel pretty safe saying that I'm a big classical crypto nerd, and I think...
I don't know how to say that. Visionaire? I'm not even gonna try it. Encryption is
very elegant. I guess I like any RSA-based method, since that's what everything is built on.
I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm glad you guys are working on AI. Then we'd be safe from network attacks like Monica's afraid of. And she'd be really happy to be out in the real world.